Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hello again, everyone. I'm Kurt Menefee, joined as always by my partner Tim Green. And Tim, let's take a look at this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team in an unusual way if you're used to looking at the Bucs, because usually you talk defense with them, but right now it's all about offense.
Well, that's right, Kurt, and they've won their last 4 games here at Raymond James Stadium. And a big part of the reason really has been the accuracy at the quarterback position with Brian Griese. I mean, he is really operating this offense with great efficiency, but he's had some help too, because early in the season when they went 0-4, they were without a lot of the position at the wide receiver position. Michael Clayton, the rookie, has come on tremendously. Joey Galloway, he's healthy again. He gives them speed. And, of course, Joe Juravicius, he's back healthy again. He's a tough guy, you know, and I think that they're going to really go after this Saints defense, which is 32nd in the National Football League against the pass.
Yeah, New Orleans does come in ranked last overall in defense in the National Football League, but they're coming off their best performance of the season last week in that win over Dallas.
Well, and I think that there's a reason for that, despite the fact that they're last statistically, they're pretty strong up front. I mean, you got Charles Grant there and Darren Howard, and then the rookie Will Smith. And I think that's going to be the flashpoint for Tampa Bay today. They're going to have to block these guys if they're going to win. And then offensively for the New Orleans Saints, they know that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the #1 pass defense in the league, but they're weak against the run. Look for a steady dose of Deuce McAllister.
Well, there is still time to check on how your fantasy team is doing. Simply text message 63504 on your singular wireless phone or vote on foxsports.com. Back with the opening kickoff from sunny Tampa Bay right after this word from your local Fox stations.
Hungry? Then call Papa John's for dinner.
Dinner?
Now get Papa's Fortunate Deal. A large Papa John's pizza with up to 5 toppings for just $13.99. And get a Lemony Snicket CD-ROM with computer games, behind-the-scenes footage, and more. A large Papa John's pizza and a Lemony Snicket CD-ROM, just $13.99.
Dinner is served.
See Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, starring Jim Carrey, opening December 17th.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Johnny Calvo is the city's toughest ex-con.
Tweakers jumped him, killed 3 of them with his bare hands.
Now, he's trying to start a new life by helping others with theirs.
Tell me where she is.
This January, the acclaimed producers of ER bring their unique vision to the mean streets of New York City.
Hey man, are these the good guys?
No, they're the other bad guys.
Are there any good guys involved in this?
Just us.
Great.
Johnny Zero premieres Friday, January 14th on Fox.
Fa La 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 Fox Sunday has a night of holiday comedy, starting with The Simpsons that'll scare the dickens out of you.
Enough by Al. No! Enough by all. No!
Then it's the Arrested Development Christmas you'll go bananas for.
I'm stuck. They're laughing with me.
And holiday parking a hassle? It's a smashing new Malcolm at a special time. Followed by a very merry new King of the Hill. It's a Fa La 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 Fox Sunday starting at 7, 6 Central tonight.
Daytona 500 returns in HD this February on Fox. He's taken a new job and built a new life.
I'm falling in love with you.
But when Jack Bauer least expects it,
what we will accomplish today will change the world.
our nation will call on him once again.
Jack, make this work.
I will.
24, the two-night premiere event begins Sunday, January 9th on Fox. You're watching Fox Sports. Available in 720p, the world's finest high-definition standard with Dolby 5.1.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Well, you can see the temperature is warm. There are clouds out to the west, but where we are in Tampa, here at Raymond James Stadium, beautiful sunshine as the sun gets low in the sky here for this late afternoon kickoff. John Gruden hoping his team can win its final 3 games to get to 500 and go from there. If they make it to 500, believing that there's a possibility they can make it to the postseason. Obviously, the Saints thinking the same thing. Each team coming in with a record of 5-8. Jay Taylor to kick things off as the Saints have won the toss. The former Buccaneer Aaron Stecker lets it go right through his hands. Scoops it up at the 2, and that's trouble. But he gets out of it. Stecker with room, only the kicker ahead of him. Oh boy, sometimes it's better to be lucky. Stecker takes it all the way back for the touchdown. "98 yards on the opening kickoff after muffing it initially."
Well, when Aaron Stecker muffs this kick, what happens is everyone gets out of their lanes. You're going to see the Tampa Bay coverage team, they close in way too tight. And then once he breaks it out, you see the one man to contain, Rondé Barber, actually gets blocked. And then it's the kicker, Will Smith, just buries him.
First kickoff return for a touchdown in Stecker's career. First kickoff return for a touchdown against the Bucs since Terry Fair did it back in 1998. John Carney gets the extra point. It wasn't pretty, but it goes through. And the special teams touchdown. That's a 3rd one we've seen in an NFL game this week. The Giants did it yesterday. Kansas City with Dante Hall did it today. And now Aaron Stecker.
None more bizarre than this, though, Kurt. I mean, this looked like a disaster for the Saints. Watch Stecker, muff this thing. And there it goes all the way almost into the end zone. He picks it up. And as I said, they just got overexcited. Everyone converges. They get out of their lanes. And there were like 3 lanes that were abandoned because they converged on the ball. And once you abandon that many lanes, all you have to do, block the contained man, Rondé Barber, who you see there, 20, and then take care of the kicker. Will Smith probably had fun doing that.
And you know, Aaron Stecker had fun. We mentioned a former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and he needs a little help there from the oxygen, but why not? You put your team on the board.
I love when you see a guy, when a guy is getting oxygen, he did something that he didn't expect to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what happens. If you're a defensive lineman or something like that, you get a fumble, you run it back, you go for the oxygen. Aaron Stecker probably didn't expect to return that kick for a touchdown, so he needs the oxygen.
I'll remember the Buccaneers have never in their franchise history returned a kickoff for a touchdown, so a bit ironic that a guy who was with the Bucs for the previous 4 seasons comes back for the first time and does it against Tampa Bay. And think of this, the Saints with a rare lead. They haven't even touched the ball on offense, and this is the first time all season that New Orleans has led a game in the first quarter.
And for Tampa Bay fans, they think of a season of bizarre plays, right? Think about the Pittman, the fumble to Archuleta. Archuleta strips them, and they lose that game to St. Louis. And if they lose this is another bizarre play they're going to point to.
Well, Mitch Berger will kick it off the other way. And that'll be Ian Smart. Smart with a little running room, brought down just across the 40-yard line. And so that's where Brian Griese and the Tampa Bay offense will take the field for the first time today. Buccaneers riding a 4-game home win streak, and a lot of that, as you said, is because they do like him Griese.
I mean, you have to like Brian Griese, and I thought it was interesting talking to John Gruden how passionate he was about Brian Griese and talking about his incredible precision as a passer, and how Gruden said he'd sell his house to keep Griese here.
Starting at the 40. Griese to the air and dumps it off to Michael Pittman out of the backfield, but Charles Grant won't let him get far. A pickup of 4 yards on the play, and this Buccaneer offense trying to get things going. They have really cranked it up after a slow start to this season, 0-4, and they didn't score a touchdown in the first 4 games, but it was that Week 5 contest in New Orleans where they got it going, won that game 20-17, and since then has really not had trouble scoring points, despite the fact they lost last week. They put 24 on the board in the 31-24 loss at San Diego. There's Joey Galloway. Galloway down the sideline, finally forced out of bounds after picking up the first down. It looked like there's a late flag on the sideline, way out of bounds.
While they're talking about the flag, Kurt, I'll point out in the upper right-hand corner of the Fox box, all those scores coming in, so many of them with a tremendous amount of meaning as this playoffs picture
Personal
unfolds.
Foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 34 in the defense. Hit out of bounds. That's a 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
To Bucky Jones with a late hit. Well, the Saints defense we mentioned last in the National Football League against the run, last in the National Football League overall, but last week had their best performance. First time they didn't give up 300 yards. Only 255 to the Cowboys, and held Dallas to a season low for the Saints defense of 13 points. But after the penalty, ball now on the 27-yard line. Greasy going up for Jared Vicious, made the adjustment, gets a flag. Fred Thomas was the guy he was working on over there, and Jared Vicious may have drawn that penalty.
Well, the Saints were up press coverage.
Number 22 in the defense. That's an automatic first down.
Fred Thomas took his press coverage too far. Saints really focusing in on the pass. They're going to let their 4 defensive linemen try to apply the pressure. And then they're going to try to press these wide receivers, as Fred Thomas was right there. That's why he was right there all over Joe Jaravicius. And they have 2 safeties, at least on that last play, backing them up.
First down from the 13. Pittman. Short pickup. Charles Grant making the stop, and you saw Fred Thomas drawing the penalty, or getting the penalty, for New Orleans, and that's a situation that, unfortunately for New Orleans, they have been in a lot this season. As far as yards, they are the most penalized team in the National Football League.
Well, the other consistent part of this season, Kurt, if you watch Charles Grant right here, number 94, and we said it right from the beginning, on the line of scrimmage, he, Darren Howard, who's also in on that play, Brian Young, those guys can control the line of scrimmage against Tampa Bay.
Greasy steps up. Flag falls as Joey Galloway goes down, got tied up with the Bucky Jones, and this is going to be another penalty against the Saints.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact. Number 34 in the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
There you can see what we were talking about by the yards per game, most in the league.
And here's another costly one for the Saints. I mean, they did a good job up front. They got the pressure that they needed on Brian Greasy.
They'll pick up 5 yards, but more importantly, it'll be first and goal from the 5. Mike Allstott. Allstott bottled up right about the 2-yard line or so. They pick up 3 yards, second and goal.
I think it's important for Tampa Bay to get a touchdown out of this, Kurt, to level the playing field. After they had the kick returned on them by Aaron Stecker, I think they want to get quickly out to an even field on the score, because both teams at 5 and 8 aren't playing with a tremendous amount of confidence.
Here's the handoff to Allstott, caught in the backfield this time. Jay Bellamy with the tackle. And this would be a big stand for this Saints defense for the very same reason.
Well, and I'll tell you, the Saints defense won this thing at the line of scrimmage, and middle linebacker Courtney Watson, watch him. He comes in on the fullback, Jameel Cook. If you watch Cook right there, and that really stuffs up this play. And that enables Jay Bellamy to come around from the outside, from the safety position, and make the tackle.
They'll try it again on 3rd and goal. Galloway open, catches it, touchdown Buccaneers.
Joey Galloway beat Fakir Brown with speed right off the line.
Galloway has come back. That's his 4th touchdown. Remember, he missed 6 games with a bad groin injury that had to have surgery on it, and it's part of that missing element of this Buccaneers offense early on. But since he has returned, things have opened up, and he has taken advantage, as has this entire Tampa Bay offense.
Usually when you think of Galloway's speed, you think of it that deep down the field. That time he used it right in the end zone.
So the Buccaneers come back, march 60 yards down the field, and we're all even here in Tampa.
Life is measured not so much by what you do as by what you do for others. For almost 2 decades, the pleasant.
It's starting.
Do you think it's possible?
Ball resting comfortably at about the 18-yard line, and Chris Chandler on the left, and Mike Martz did not mince words when describing Chandler's performance last week against Carolina.
Chandler didn't mince any words either. He blamed himself completely for the loss with his 6 interceptions.
First run of the day for Marshall Faulk, and Faulk is out close to the 20-yard line. And head coach Mike Martz, as we said, squarely
chasing Tatum Bell inside the 5, punching the ball through. It looked like a touchdown and went in and out of the end zone for a touchback.
Kevin, we talked about Dick Vermeil and how much he loves his players, and I don't see that as being a fault, but let's be honest, this is an audition for these guys. They're not going to the playoffs, and if you're a defensive player for the Kansas City Chiefs, you are auditioning for the ability to...
America. Consider the dots. Connected. SBC.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
Tampa ties at 7-7. Joey Galloway, I said he beat Fakir Brown with speed. Watch Galloway right here. He's just a quick out, and when he makes that move to the out, watch how much space he creates between he and Fakir Brown. Too much space.
Galloway with a little pose after that, tying the game at 7 apiece. And you take a look at the field, I guess Aaron Stecker is still out of breath from that opening kickoff return for a touchdown, because he's not in there to return the kickoff. It's Michael Lewis, who was a Pro Bowler a couple of years ago, now back to return the kickoff and see if he can match what Stecker did. Well, the oxygen mask is gone.
It looked like they were taking his pulse, Kurt. You know, sometimes you have an exertion like that and your heart palpitates.
I know I do. If I've got to run that far, the old ticker starts thumping.
You're a palpitator?
Here's Lewis from the 6. Ball he spotted about the 28-yard line, and so Aaron Brooks and this Saints offense will take over from there, coming off last week's win in Dallas. 27-13 was the count there, and you know, Aaron Brooks, you talk to him and you see the numbers, 3rd most interceptions in the National Football League, and he is a guy who has not lost 1 iota of confidence.
No, and you know, I agree with Terry Bradshaw on the pregame today, Kurt, who he said, you know, he'd totally stick with Aaron Brooks. And I don't focus so much on the interceptions. He's a guy with tremendous talent. He's got a very strong arm. He's mobile. He knows this offense. If he can eliminate those turnovers, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL.
Deuce McAllister with the carry. He'll pick up a couple, and well, part of the reason Brooks can be so good is because they have so many weapons on the offense for the New Orleans Saints, although they come in with a couple of changes today up front. Jamar Nesbitt moves over from left guard to right guard now that Kendall Jaycox is back. And Dante Stallworth, who has been on fire of late at wide receiver, now gets the start. He's in the lineup, replacing Jerome Pathon.
That's the big weapon right there. There isn't a bigger weapon than Joe Horn on this team.
Now Deuce McAllister, a pretty good one himself, picks up a couple this time. This Tampa Bay defense comes in ranked number 5 overall in the National Football League, usually where you expect to find the Buccaneer defense. Number 1 against the pass, but only 22nd against the run, and that's been their Achilles heel so far this season, as they try and stop This Saints offense on 3rd down. New Orleans needing the 38-yard line for first. Brooks from the shotgun. And there's your guy, Joe Horn, with the catch for the first down at the 45. 12-yard pickup.
Well, part of the reason Horn was able to get that catch and Brooks was able to throw it was the focus on Simeon Rice. Here's Rice here, and what happens is he's rushing against Gandy, but he gets a chip. Watch the chip right there by Boo Williams, and that gets him out of his pass rush mode. And so Joe Horn has time to get down, separate from Mario Edwards, get the first down.
Nice run by McAllister as he stutter steps in the backfield and finally winds up picking up 6 yards.
And they want to run Deuce McAllister 30-plus times today against this Tampa Bay defense. Deuce McAllister has historically played well against Tampa Bay, although I will say this, in his last game against Tampa Bay, where they lost this earlier this season, Deuce fumbled the ball twice. Watch for Tampa Bay looking for the strip.
McAllister gets the carry again, and right at that first down marker, penalty flag down as well as Ian Gold made the tackle.
Holding number 44, the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
And that'll come back as the rookie Mike Carney, the fullback, is called for the hold.
Well, Carney saw Dwight Smith coming on the blitz, and another thing they talked about in the pregame, they did it out on the field. They showed the safety blitz. Tampa Bay came with the safety blitz. It was kind of an unexpected guy for Carney to see, and he just tackled him.
Now the left tackle, Wayne Gandy, for the Saints is still being bothered by an injury, so we'll take a timeout.
Back in the 1800s, when my great-great-grandfather, Adolph,
your confidence, while its first-class accommodations give you the to spread out. It takes the sedan to a much higher level. The new Ford 500, elevating the sedan. Ford, built for the road ahead.
It's the best damn sports show, period, where sports and entertainment's biggest names turn television upside down. Weeknights on FSN.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Budweiser, the bright color and crisp, clean taste you'll only find in the king of beers.
Just under the 9-minute mark here in Tampa. Each team has put a touchdown on the board, and as Wayne Gandy went out, Spencer Falau, who started the last couple of weeks at right guard, now comes in at left tackle. Empty backfield as McAllister goes in motion. 3-man rush. That one broken up incomplete, intended for Boo Williams.
Well, this time with Folau having to block Simeon Rice, they put Boo Williams right back there on him, and Rice actually slid outside, took himself, and went into a two-point stance. Here's Simeon Rice here. He slid from the inside to the outside, and just by alignment, they bought more time, and only with a 3-man rush, that gave a lot of coverage downfield for Tampa Bay.
Saints needing the 45 of Tampa. Delayed handoff. And they give it to McAllister. He's going to be far, far short as he is stopped by Greg Spires right at the 45 of New Orleans. So,
boy, that was a doggone conservative call, Kurt. I mean, you know, you're playing on the road. You barely have any playoff hopes alive. And if you didn't have Joe Horn or Dante Stallworth, I'd say, you know, okay, I understand. You know, go for the draw. But Christmas, go get it.
Mitch Berger with the punt. That one will go out of bounds. They'll come back and spot it right around the 20-yard line. And that's where it will be for the Bucs.
This bolt is 4.5 inches long, made from hardened alloy steel. 6 of them connect the cargo box of the Ford F-150 to its frame. Why do we do this when others don't? Because we're building the strongest pickup. You can be sure of that. We are. Only one truck earned the right to be the next Ford F-150.
I wanted to get everyone cool gifts and not pay too much. Now it's too late. I blew it.
Actually, you didn't blow it.
I didn't?
No, you didn't.
I guess you're just what I need.
Still looking for the perfect gift? It's easy to wrap up the whole store today with a Circuit City gift card and save $50 on this Fujifilm 3.2 megapixel digital camera with 6 times optical zoom. Just $149.99. Circuit City.
Your family just got a whole lot bigger. Now that Cingular has joined forces with AT&T Wireless to bring you the largest calling community in America. Talk to any Cingular or AT&T Wireless customer for free.
Can you ask someone to pass the gravy?
All 46 million of them. Now with Family Talk, add a member of your family to ours for just $9.99 a line. The new Cingular, raising the bar.
People everywhere are experiencing a breakthrough. I'm full! Taco Bell's new Big Bell Value Menu, featuring the spicy chicken burrito with shredded chicken simmered in authentic Mexican spices. To keep your stomach and your wallet full, think outside the bun.
Well, usually when you hear Jimmy Buffett, you think South Florida, but anywhere there's water and a couple of margaritas, there's always Jimmy Buffett to be found. And here in Tampa, they've got plenty of both, I've been told.
I'll tell you, I was on the beach yesterday with my family. We were the only ones, but we're from New York, so it felt pretty doggone good.
Ian Smart, short run, wrapped up by Will Smith.
I think as we see Ian Smart run the ball, you know, Tampa Bay will run against this Saints defense. They're going to challenge it because the Saints have struggled against, you know, to stop the run as well. And most of that struggle has been at the linebacker position and their safeties getting out of position. But know this for sure, John Gruden wants to use Brian Griese and those wide receivers. You're going to see more of that, more 3 wide receiver throwing the ball than you will running.
They fake the handoff to Pittman. Griese rolling. Dumps it off. Nice catch by the rookie Michael Clayton. Who's John Gruden just avoids getting taken out by Tabucky Jones on the sideline.
So you want to talk about a guy to get excited about if you're a Tampa Bay fan or if you're a fan of football, this is a guy to get excited about. Michael Clayton, 6'4". He was a great basketball player in high school. He has all the skills you could ever ask for. The only thing he doesn't have is blazing speed, but he's physical, he's hard-working, he's determined, he's got great hands. He is going to be a huge asset for this team for a long, long time, and I think a big star in the National Football League.
Grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Griese has the time, gets it off to Pittman. Nice move by Pittman as he gets out to the 40-yard line. Clayton checked out for that last play, but it'll come right back in the ball game. And you know, here's a young man last year playing at LSU, won a national championship, taken with a 15th overall pick by the Buccaneers. And you know, told us he's a guy who likes football, but really growing up in Baton Rouge, his first love was basketball.
Well, I just love the story he told about his dad, having him out in the backyard shooting for 3 hours at a time sometimes. And he said, "Dad, is it enough?" "No, 10 more." His dad worked him hard, and he became a tremendous basketball player through hard work.
Pittman not going to get anywhere. Maybe a yard on that play.
Clayton is a guy you want to go to now on third down. And the other, probably the end of that part of his story is that, you know, he said he was a natural football player. He loved football. You know, he said summertime they'd play football out in the yard, sun up, sun down. He was all-time quarterback, and he loved the game, and it came very easy, very natural to him. But basketball, he had to really work at.
Buccaneers needing a 44, flag down.
Free play.
Yes, it is, and it's caught by Clayton. Good enough for the first down. Fakir Brown with the tackle, and the Bucs will most likely turn this down and let Clayton keep the yardage since they got the first.
And I think that play really displays what Clayton has and what he doesn't have.
Offside, left tackle. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
We saw Joey Galloway separate himself in the end zone with just pure speed. We said Clayton doesn't have raw speed, but what he does have is just physical presence. And you see, Fakir Brown can run with him, but he's got the body position and he's got the strength to catch that right in the middle of the field and, you know, be just sure-handed.
In Saints territory, Michael Pittman runs it off tackle. Pittman going to be out near that first down marker as Bucky Jones made the tackle. For the first time today, we go out to L.A. and check in with my man J.B. for a game break.
All right, Kurt, and the man was, in fact, Joey Harrington, who looked awfully good throwing this fade pattern there, too. Roy Williams, the man. Now, you thought Detroit looked awfully good to tie it up. Bad snap. Nick Harris couldn't handle it. That settled it right there. So Minnesota holds on to eke out the one-point victory there. Back to Kurt Menefee.
Unbelievable.
That's, you know, Mike Tyson's never lost to the Detroit Lions. And, you know, Pam Oliver just did a great job with her interview of Mike Tice on the pregame show today. And I really feel for him. And I really admired what, and I think it was Howie who said that, you know, talked about his leadership. I think Tice said, you know, yeah, everyone's down on me, you know, or everyone because I'm kind of lighthearted about the whole thing, but as a leader, that's what I have to do. I have to just be lighthearted and forget about my contract situation so that everybody can focus on winning games.
Second down for the Buccaneers after the Michael Pittman run. Here's Greasy. Too far for Allstott, incomplete. That's the first miss of the day by Greasy, who had come out of the gate, started off 5 for 5.
And we talk about Mike Tice being kind of embattled as a coach. And, of course, a lot of people have been talking about Jim Haslett being embattled. And I think he's taken the same posture that Mike Tice has taken, and that he's just really not paying attention to it. He's pretending like it doesn't exist.
Anytime you don't make the playoffs a couple of years in a row, the heat gets on you. Buccaneers need the 29 for the first. Jaravicius bouncing off tacklers, and Jaravicius won't get back to get the first down as he'll be stopped about 2 yards short. Fred Thomas finally wrapped him up.
Yeah, this might be a 4-down situation right here, Kurt. Again, I think, you know, you're 5-8, you're hanging on. And watch Brian Greasy change the play at the line of scrimmage. He said that's what he really likes about this offense, John Gruden's offense, compared to Mike Shanahan's offense in Denver. He said there's a lot more flexibility. He can see things and change things at the line. Boy, Jaravicius is a tough one.
Oh, he really is. Remember, another guy, we talked about Galloway earlier in the surgery. Jaravicius had back surgery and had to miss the first 6 weeks. They need the 29, and they got it on a hard count.
Yeah, he got it free. They didn't even have to work for that 4th-down conversion. That's what one of the other things that Brian Greasy gives you. He's a veteran that can do things like this. He just got him. And the thing he did it without moving his head, without dipping anything.
And Haslett is furious right now. I guess the only thing you could be speculating, and this is a total guess, is that he's worried about the body language of Greasy. Because remember, as you bark out the counts, you're not allowed to move. That's the only thing that I can guess that he'd be that livid about.
Boy, Haslett looked like he just blew a gasket.
Yeah. They pick up the first down on the penalty. Michael Pittman. There's another flag down as Pittman is brought down at the 18. And Haslett still on the field, upset about the previous call.
And I think while we said Greasy held still, I think maybe his contention is with the body language of Michael Clayton, who was going in motion on that.
Holding number 70 of the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty. It's still first down.
Just go back to the penalty on 4th down, Kurt, because it is pretty important. Watch Michael Clayton here, right here. Watch his movement, right? There, see how he chopped. But, you know, that's one of those ones that there's no rule against it.
As long as he doesn't go forward.
Well, what's going on, baby? Number 36.
Well, after the holding call on Derek Deese, Buccaneers backed all the way up to the 36. So essentially they lose 18 yards after that last run. Greasy has time over the middle of the field for Galloway. Too far for him. Let him just too much. Galloway had beaten to Bucky Jones, and Greasy just couldn't drop it in the bucket.
John Gruden was just ebullient about Brian Greasy's deep ball and his accuracy. And this one is just off the fingertips of Joey Galloway.
Nice consolation by the mascot,
He gets a little pat on
Makes
the back.
him feel better?
Yeah, I don't think if you just miss a touchdown pass, you want the mascot to console you.
Here's Greasy to Olstad out of the backfield. Olstad lost the football, and Charles Grant jumps right on it.
We talked about that Saints defensive line. Part of it is controlling the line of scrimmage. Part of it is running to the ball, and that's why the Saints have got it.
Those rates are brutal.
Part of the field, and Ray Buchanan was a little bit slow reacting to it.
They marked his forward progress just inside the 18-yard line, so 1st and 10 from there for Tennessee. Bullock will take a shot to the end zone. Incomplete. Ben Troop had to change shoulders. He started.
Travis Fisher went on the coverage.
It's like Tommy Pauly out here at outside linebacker is going to get up and get a hand on it. Just enough to cause that ball to elevate over Bryant Johnson.
Arizona pretty good so far today on 3rd down. Holding in motion. Plenty of time for McCown. Going deep in the end zone for Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald can't get up for it. Coverage on the play. Nicely done by Antoine Edwards.
Guy is as hot as any receiver in the NFL right now, probably the hottest in the NFL. And Billy Volek has a lot of confidence in it, puts it up. 6'5", Drew Bennett running across the back of the end zone.
Are those your kids on the beach?
No, they pulled this shot out of the archives, I'll tell you, because we were on the beach yesterday and there was nobody there. And nobody was in the water either. I mean, you see how turnovers have affected this Tampa Bay team. In the 5 wins, they were +7. In their 8 losses, -8.
Quick pass out to Dante Stallworth. Stallworth as good as anybody in the league really at run after the catch. And this time he picks it up all the way out to the 49, a gain of 22.
Stallworth, a weapon just like Joe Horn. Let's go back. Watch James Allen. He splits the blocks on the screen, and then he gets the strip from Mike Alstott. And then, as I said, Charles Grant pursuing all the way from the other side of the line. Hustling, working hard, enables him to scoop up that fumble.
Just shy of midfield, first down for the Saints. Brooks zips that one. It was deflected. Shelton Quarles, the linebacker, got a hand on it and knocked it away. Penalty flag down on that far right sideline.
Quarles offside, number 94, the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
So it's Greg Spires jumping off early.
Well, Greg Spires is a defensive end who has slid down to play defensive tackle, and in the Tampa Bay offense, it's called the 3 technique. So he plays an outside shade on one guard or the other. Shartrick Darby is the nose tackle. Darby is the only one of these defensive linemen who's even close to 300 pounds. Spires extremely light to play in there on the inside.
That's that spot Warren Sapp made famous here. As Deuce McAllister gets through, picks up another New Orleans first down. 8 yards on the run there.
This is why you can grind it away with Deuce McAllister, right? Because you've got a bunch of guys, 4 guys up here, who really are quite light. I mean, 3 out of the 4 are around the 270 range. And then you've got Shartrick Darby. And I think that has been a big reason for why they've struggled against the run. Just size. They've got guys out of position.
Ball on the 39 is Brooks. Scrambling. Pulls it down and is forced out of bounds by Simeon Rice, who gave him chase. And Aaron Brooks will tell you, people say he should run more, but he goes, I'm not faster than the defensive players.
I think that's a sack for Simeon Rice right there. And here's what I was talking about, Kurt. If you look at Dwayne White, the second-year player, 273. Spires 265, and then Shartrick Darby. I mean, this is the biggest, and he's not even 300 pounds. And then Simeon Rice out here. This is, if it's not the smallest defensive line in the league, it's certainly one of the smallest.
And that'll be the end of the first quarter. Aaron Stecker took the opening kickoff of the game, 98 yards for a touchdown. The Buccaneers came back and scored on their first possession. And so it's all even at 7 after 1 quarter here in Tampa.
Let's go, insurers and adjusters. Let's go.
Grill.
Let's go, insurers and adjusters. Let's
$80.
Go. Cut that meat.
Sandwich.
Cut that meat.
$6.
Cut that meat.
Gas.
And it's full.
$20.
You're my favorite accountant. Tommy, please. Johnny, please. You're on my fantasy team. You're my favorite worker.
Fans.
Yes. Woo!
Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Okay. Never gonna wash his hand. Right here. Look at that.
Last 4 road games. Not good, Tim.
No, not good at all. And you know, they've had a lot of injuries on the O-line. Certainly with Chandler in there, they're a different offense than when Mark Bulger is in there. But they've still got a lot of weapons that they need to utilize in the right way to try to get some points on the board. And the big one to me is number 28.
Cardinals show a little bear look. High pass intended for Kevin Curtis. And it's incomplete. Ronaldo Hill on the coverage. Now the crowd gets into it.
Now it's one of these, and now it's a situation where you're at 3rd and 12, you're at 3rd and 13. Chris Chandler. They've already come after him. They've already gotten in his face a couple of times. They got the interception. This is what they were doing so well at the beginning of the year, stopping the run, setting themselves up in pass defense to make some big plays and get some turnovers. Look at that. Wow.
3rd and 13. Cardinals moving around a lot. They bring the pressure front side, and it's a sack. The corner, Ronaldo Hill. Clancy Pendergast is bringing out the barrel today.
Well, wouldn't you blitz Chris Chandler? He throws.
January 14th on Fox.
Aerial pictures today brought to you by AmeriQuest Mortgage Company and the AmeriQuest Mortgage Company blimp.
And I'll stop talking about the beach after this, but I swear to you, no, seriously, I was with my wife, Alyssa, and our 3 kids on the beach, and the AmeriQuest blimp flew right up the beach yesterday.
Maybe it was coming to the game.
No, that's what it was. And I said, you know what? I pointed to my son Troy. I said, that's the blimp headed to our game.
Here's Brooks being chased from behind. He goes down. Simeon Rice was coming from behind. Greg Spires was right in front of him.
You know, they had 2 guys assigned to blocking Simeon Rice, and he still used his speed to the outside to beat both of them.
And there's Wayne Gandy, who had come back in the game. You see he's injured again.
Watch, they give him help. There's Boo Williams, the tight end is out there, Boo Williams and Gandy was hurt. And Simeon Rice just races to the outside. He is still, he may be the best pass rushing end ever.
That's not Santa. That's 50 million jolly customers who know their fine
system. There's no doubt about that. Tough for a guy to evolve in, but I say shame on the Rams for not having a better backup quarterback in case something happened to Mark Bolger.
Time winding down here in the first. Pound will let one fly, dumps it over the middle. Emmitt Smith has a nice gain, an easy first down. He's inside the Rams' 30-yard line, and that is indeed the end of the first. It's all Arizona. They're up by 10. Fox NFL Sunday from Tempe will continue after these messages.
And what have you done?
Visa, official card of the NFL and the house of the Super Bowl champion New England Patriots, where they accept no other card to get you in. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
When you want to find her just the perfect gift, it helps to know the people who know diamonds. The diamond right-hand ring, just $299.99. Zales, the diamond store.
This Wednesday,
Cover your nose, you're terrifying him.
two families will come together to create some lasting memories
Salome massage.
they'd like to forget.
Mom, you were riding him like Seabiscuit.
Meet the Fockers. Rated PG-13.
11 NFL athletes living in one house. Backyard football has never looked so good. Or maybe it's just the apparel.
While they work on Wayne Gandy on the sideline, Simeon Rice continues to work on the field. He's got a sack and a half in the last 2 plays.
Well, and even though Gandy was hurt, Gandy had the inside to block Simeon. Boo Williams had the outside to block Simeon, and Simeon didn't even take advantage of the fact that Gandy was hurt. He got that sack beating Boo Williams to the outside when Boo knew all he had to do was take the outside because he didn't know Gandy was going to get hurt either. He is a colorful character, Simeon Rice.
They're just resetting the clock, and not just a colorful character, but a heck of a player. He's got 10.5 sacks now with that last 1.5, and that makes it 4 straight years of double digits, 6 of the last 7, and 7 times in his 9-year career.
I like him as a player, and I like his style. I like the way he travels around the world, you know, in the offseason. The way his dad used to take their family traveling around the country in an RV when he was growing up.
Rice standing up now. Rushing against Falau. There's the pressure, and it comes out. Brooks falls on top of it.
And that's Rice again. That's all Simeon Rice. Greg Spires was there too, but I believe that Simeon Rice is the guy that drove Falau right in. Watch him right here. He's in a 2-point stance. There he comes. He gets under Falau, and oh no, it was Spires. It was Spires. Watch it. I think Spires actually gets his hand. Yep. Greg Spires, excuse me, got his left hand in there and slapped that ball down.
Sacks on 3 straight plays, a sack and a half each for both Spires and Rice. As Joey Galloway is back and watches that one go over his head into the end zone for a touchback. All the Tampa Bay defense rising to the occasion on that last possession. Gives it back to the offense.
Out here, TB. All right. Back to Emmitt Smith and the Rams cracking down on that run game. Tino Samoa with the shot. A loss of 1. There's a look at the Cardinals.
Yeah, well, that's not the story today.
First quarter, definitely not.
Don't you get the real feeling that Denny is coaching through fear down here? And I think he should. I think when you come into a franchise that is basically in there, they're guaranteed of the losing season with the 9 losses. 15 to 17 years now since they've been here, they've had losing seasons. You got to change the mentality. Whether guys like you or not, it doesn't matter. You got to change the mentality.
3rd and 10. The throw inside to Scobie, and Scobie has the first down. Nice looking pickup. Pickup of 14.
Good job by Scobie, just feeling his way through here. Watch, he's going to get up inside, and then he's just
extraordinary adventure. Somehow, I told you so doesn't quite say it. iRobot. Today. Gotcha.
Experience a deep cleaning unlike any other. It's the Sonicare difference. With patented sonic technology, it reaches deep between teeth and along the gum line. No wonder it's the most used and recommended by dental professionals. Stop brushing. Start Sonicare.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by GMC Trucks and SUVs. We are professional grade. By Citizen Watches, Citizen Echo Drive, Unstoppable. By Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar, eating good in the neighborhood, Applebee's. And by iRobot, own it on DVD today.
Well, the Buccaneers defense looking like the team that went to the Super Bowl. 3 sacks on the last 3 plays. And so they force New Orleans to punt, and the Buccaneer offense starts at the 20. Greasy gets it out. Pittman can't hold on. Incomplete. Let's complete one out to L.A. in a game break with Terry Bradshaw.
All right, Kurt, thank you. Earlier in the day, you saw the Jets take care of Seattle thanks to 2 Santana Moss receptions, 3 touchdown passes from Chad Pennington. And then, of course, St. Louis is alive. Seattle loses. They're out, and all of a sudden, the Rams are losing 10-0 to Arizona. Kurt, what's going on? Back to you and the pretty one, Tim Green.
I want to know what's going on in L.A. Did JB have to take a potty break or what?
What's this pretty one stuff, man?
The pitch over to Pittman. Nice tackle made by Mike McKenzie. Well, McKenzie fought through a blocker, made the stop on Pittman.
It looks like, if you look up here, it looks like Arizona just scored again, making it 17-0. So really things going the way that both the Saints and the Bucs could wish it for, right?
And a lot of people, including the Carolina Panthers, who had their 5-game win streak snapped late last night at the Georgia Dome.
Late, because that went into overtime. What a spectacular game.
Early this morning. Buccaneers need the 30 to keep the drive going. Galloway sidesteps it and gets it.
John Gruden said that Joey Galloway gives this offense heat. And he does, and he has. And you watch him here again, just getting excellent separation from Fakir Brown. Brown, of course, bumping into one of his guys. That's one of those crossing patterns they use. Kind of a pick type play. You see Tim Brown being the guy underneath.
Here's Pittman. Plowing into the line, will pick up a couple of yards. And I guess JB is still in that potty break because we check in with Terry Bradshaw once again for another game break.
All right, Kurt and Tim, check it out. 5th touchdown reception on the year for rookie. You got it, Larry Fitzgerald. This 8-yard version. Rams all of a sudden not looking so good. Seattle gave them a break, and all of a sudden your team, Tampa Bay's alive. Someone, Kurt, back to you and the second best looking guy, Tim Green.
Oh, we know the first one is Howie.
Oh, is that who it is?
I'm sure Terry was talking about Howie.
End around, Joey Galloway. Fred Thomas makes the tackle right at the 45-yard line. It'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down.
The thing about Joey Galloway, and I said that John Gruden said, you know, he really gives our offense heat. Now, the problem that Galloway has had is finishing the game. He's had trouble with his hamstrings. And so he's like, you know, one of those Ferraris, right, who is just high potent, high powered when he's out there, but spends a lot of time in the shop. Cantankerous hamstrings he's had this season.
Suffered from cramps last week in San Diego, missed the final 5 minutes. It was Greasy, calls the timeout. First taken by the Buccaneers here with 11:26 left to go. Here in the first half, we're still knotted at 7.
Cold hard fact. Only Coors Light is frost brewed at ice cold temperatures. Stored cold and shipped cold. And when beer starts out this cold, it ends up this refreshing. Coors Light, our goal, the coldest tasting beer in the world.
Do you believe in Santa Claus?
Absolutely.
He helped me pick this out.
The Leo Diamond, crafted by the artisans at Leo Schachter and hand-selected to match beautifully by Kay.
Can I give you folks a lift?
Every kiss begins with K. Here, honey.
Thank you.
Good morning. Let's talk about the weather. Well, it's going to be a beautiful Sunday. Much more the same over the next couple of days. You might want to do some hard work. Saving up a little weather situation. Okay, here's your ticket.
Thank you.
Stay cool however you can and make sure that you're... Call me when you get there.
I will.
Tired of waiting for your reward? With Thank You from Citi, you get great rewards that are easy to earn, easy to redeem. That's a card you can count on.
If a concert hall can be acoustically tuned, if a 60,000-seat stadium can have a retractable roof, if an 80-ton bullet train can glide on air, why not your SUV? At GMC, our engineers don't just ask questions, they have answers. The GMC Envoy line of SUVs. Professional-grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
Well, Santa getting ready for his sleigh ride, and you can too, because on Christmas Eve, we've got NFL football for you. The Packers and the Vikings going at it, and that could be to determine the champion of the NFC North. Here's Greasy on third down, incomplete, intended for Pittman, and it'll be a punting situation for the Bucs.
And that's the second ball that Pittman's had that was catchable that he didn't catch. You know, John Gruden said that they really missed Charlie Garner. They missed Garner's ability to come in with Pittman, to have both of them in the backfield, and then Garner to slide out and be a running back who's very good in the passing game.
Josh Bidwell set to punt. Michael Lewis, the deep man for the Saints. High kick by Bidwell. Lewis will watch it bounce, and it will be downed right about the 15-yard line. 11:06 left to go.
Unstoppable. Like a Waltrip is, so is its Citizen Echo Drive. Fueled by light, it never needs a battery. It's unstoppable. Just like the people who wear it. Citizen Echo Drive watches. Unstoppable.
Now on DVD.
Oh, yeah! Welcome to the concrete jungle! Get your hands off my tools, huh? Huh? Where you at? Huh? What you looking around for? No backup! I got you! Who your daddy? Who your dad?
SBC. Going beyond the call.
Brown keeps my customers in the loop. Used to be they didn't know when they'd get their sunglasses, so they'd call me. Now, with UPS, my customers get an email letting them know when their order is going to arrive. It's like I answer their questions, even before they ask.
How'd you do that?
I'm telepathic.
Email notification for better customer service. UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Today's game on Fox is brought to you by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Well, this game began in an explosive fashion. Opening kickoff, Aaron Stecker recovered from the ultimate boo-boo, picking it up at the 2-yard line and taking it 98 yards for a touchdown on the opening kickoff of the game. Bucs responded on their first possession. Joey Galloway's touchdown tied the score at 7, and that's where we stand right now, late in the second quarter. And Greg Spires continues to get off He had a sack and a half on that last possession, and now makes the tackle in the backfield to start this one.
We talked about him being out of position because he's a smaller guy, but what he's doing right now, and here's Greg Spires right here, is he's using quickness. He's using quickness and movement. Heck, he didn't even get in his stance that time. He was shuffling around with Chartrick Darby, and so no one knew where he was going to be, and no one got a block on him.
Last 4 plays, Bucs have made tackles in the Saints backfield. Last 5, Simeon Rice, another sack. 4 of the last 5 plays, the Buccaneers have gotten a sack on Aaron Brooks.
Well, this time, Greg Spires, who has 1.5 sacks, he draws the double team right here, and then Spires has Folau one-on-one, and that is just a huge mismatch. See, there's the double right there. And so Simeon Rice on Spencer Folau, who really is a guard trying to play tackle, is something you do not want to do. That's not a good scheme against Simeon Rice.
3rd and long. They need the 27. Saints just handed off to Deuce McAllister. Once again, another tackle in the backfield. And I tell you what, right now, New Orleans is having trouble just getting the ball back to the line of scrimmage.
They tried to run the draw at Simeon Rice, and I know the thinking behind that is, well, we'll slow him down by running a draw at him. Let me tell you something. You don't slow that guy down by running a draw at him. He'll play the pass first and then the run second.
Mitch Berger from his own end zone.
Almost blocked.
Yep, gets that one off. Joey Galloway makes the catch at the 43. Takes it back into Saint territory, and right now, this game is all about Rice and this Buccaneer front 4.
We raise the bar on design. We push the limits of performance. Now, every great story deserves a happy ending. It's Nissan's National Year-End event. Get year-end deals like $1,500 cash back on the Altima. That's $1,500 cash back on the 05 Altima with a stylish new interior. Hurry to your Nissan dealer while the story continues, because this event ends January 3rd.
Strong, stealthy. When it comes to real-life heroes, nobody's bigger.
I'm Fat Albert.
Well, this Christmas,
Fat Albert's gonna save the day.
comedy comes
Nice meeting you.
in extra large.
I know big. And you, my friend, are big.
Oh, Lord.
Fat Albert,
Get back in the set now.
rated PG this Christmas.
Cold hard fact. The higher the elevation, the lower the temperature. That's why every single Coors Light is born right here in the Rockies. And when beer starts out this cold, it ends up this refreshing. Coors Light, our goal, the coldest tasting beer in the world.
A gorgeous mansion, a beautiful woman, and 8 charming men. You think you've seen it before.
I think you may be my dad.
Trust us, you haven't.
I'm your dad.
I'm your dad.
I'm your dad.
One of them is her long-lost dad, but can she figure out who he is?
Oh, God.
Who's Your Daddy? A 90-minute Fox event, Monday, January 3rd. Are you ready for the next American Idol?
You are the musical equivalent of a fire alarm.
American Idol returns Tuesday, January 18th on Fox.
Simeon Rice creating havoc for the Saints offensive line. It doesn't just happen. Here's how he warms up in the pregame. And you see the tremendous get-off that he has in pregame, and then he just transfers that get-off out here on the field, and he is just tough to block. Excellent defense by the Saints. And they're not doing too bad offensively either, Kurt. Greasy 8 for 12 right now with a touchdown. It was pretty interesting to me to hear that he spends his entire offseason not golfing or fishing or any of that stuff, but working on a foundation. I mean, he really runs that thing. It's named in honor of his mom, Judy, who passed away when he was a kid.
On first down, Greasy. Underneath, that's Michael Clayton, and Clayton will pick up 7 yards. You know, one of the things about Greasy, I mean, the story's been well documented about his mother passing away, and he was a young man and at that time, just a teenager, but decided that once he got into the National Football League that he wanted to do something for someone else. And you talk about running the foundation. I mean, they raise money for not only people that have breast cancer, but also kids and families, have a house for them to stay in out in Denver, doing a lot of charitable work. And as you said, is a guy who's really involved with it, not just lending his name. Here's Michael Pittman, fighting his way, going to be near that first down marker.
Well, not only does he fundraise, I mean, he raised the most money himself. He donated $1 million of his own money to the house. And as you said, it's more than just raising money and having the house. He actually goes there and spends time with these kids who've lost parents the way he did when he was a kid. And just what a great story. What a great story of a guy who's succeeded and is giving back.
Pittman got the first down. Ball on the 44. They give it to him again. Pittman stutter-stepped and took it for 6 yards on the play. And Brian Griese has been the quarterback for this Buccaneer team for the last 9 games. Of course, the year didn't start that way. Brad Johnson began as the starter. Team struggled. They put Chris Sims in there, the second-year player, started but was injured in his first game as a starter against this very same New Orleans team. And Griese took over, won that game, and has been the man since then. And he's led this team to a 5-4 mark coming into today, including 4 straight wins here at home, as Michael Pittman will be wrapped up by Roger Knight, who's in the game replacing the injured James Allen at middle linebacker.
Well, I thought it was both magnanimous and true when Brian Griese told us, you know, Brad Johnson, what happened to him really was more circumstance than his fault. Because if you think about it, that 0-4 start was when they didn't have Joey Galloway. They didn't have Joe Jurevicius. Michael Clayton was a very raw rookie. And Keenan McCardell, who they thought they were going to have signed, wasn't signed.
On 3rd and short, Griese going deep, incomplete. Nearest guy over there was tight end Ken Dilger. Brian Young was coming hard on Griese. So Griese gets up, cleans himself off, and it's another punting situation for Tampa Bay.
That, too, was a bit of a strange call to throw that deep on 3rd and 1 when Michael Pittman has been running the ball pretty well against this Saints defense.
There's Michael Lewis back to take the punt from Josh Bidwell. It's another soaring kick all the way into the end zone. Well, coming this February, NASCAR on Fox returns with the biggest event in all of racing, the Daytona 500. The world's best drivers go bumper to bumper, kicking off 15 weeks of NASCAR coverage. It's the 47th running of the Daytona 500 this February in high definition, only on Fox.
Kind of a Fox Florida type thing, right? I mean, we got the Super Bowl in Jacksonville February 6th, and just 90 miles down the road, Daytona Speedway for the Daytona 500. So, you know, and then the Speed Week, I think, is between after this, from this to this. So you got some time to get down there. And Speed Week is when they get those machines all tuned up and the drivers tuned up. So you could just spend some time in Florida, Kurt.
Use the same rental car.
Couple weeks.
Saints come in with 2 tight ends to try and stop this Buccaneer front. Deuce McAllister gets back to the line of scrimmage and just a little bit more.
Right now, the Tampa Bay defense, which has struggled against the run this season, is doing a very solid job of containing Deuce McAllister. McAllister's only averaging about 3 yards a carry. And although the Saints, I think, will continue to try to pound that, if the Bucs can continue to keep him to 3 yards a carry, they're going to have to go to the air and test the #1 pass defense in the NFL.
McAllister again, as they do continue to pound it. This time McAllister will get out to the 28-yard line before Shelton Quarles made the tackle.
And that run there was kind of like, remember how Rondé Barber was talking about Deuce McAllister? He says, you know, he has these kind of mystery runs. And that looked like a mystery run because it didn't look like a real good run, but you go ahead and measure it, and it was about 4 yards. And if you can run for 4 yards, you know, every run, that's all you need.
They're going to be just about 2 yards short of the first down as Aaron Stecker checks in now at running back. 3 wide receivers for the Saints. They hand it off to Stecker. Being chased, he gets the first down and more. Just what the Saints needed as they keep this drive going. Dexter Jackson finally knocked him out of bounds, but only after he picked up 9 and the first.
And there was some good blocking out front by Jameer Nesbitt and some of the other Saints. Normally, you think if you're going to attack this Tampa Bay defense with a run, you want to run right at them because of the size or the undersize on the defensive line, and you don't want to attack them to the sideline because that plays to the Bucs' advantage because they have so much speed at the linebacker and D-line positions.
They fake the handoff. Underneath the fullback, Mike Carney, and the rookie out of Arizona State gets out to about the 40-yard line. Ian Gold knocked him out of bounds, and you know, we had a chance to talk to Carney this week, who is actually a delightful guy to meet. Best friends with guess who? His running back, Deuce McAllister. Those guys kind of go hand in hand, but Aaron Brooks also talked about the good hands that he has, and he showed it on that play.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I was disappointed when I heard that Deuce thought he was paying him off, you know, by getting him an ASU cap and T-shirt. I'm like, come on, Deuce, you know, how about one of those diamond earrings or something, you know, something flashy.
Maybe when he makes it back to the Pro Bowl.
There you go.
He followed Carney that time. Short pickup on that play. And, you know, Carney has been a guy drafted in the 5th round out of Arizona State. And he's a guy, I mean, in this day and age, teams don't even draft fullbacks. The Saints traded 2 picks to get up to the 5th round to take him. That's how much they liked him.
I think if you know Deuce McAllister, you know he really likes to run behind the fullback. And look at the size of Carney, 5'11", 258. And even those numbers, I don't think do justice to the size of his, the hip and leg size and strength of him is just incredible.
I believe the 258 part, 5'11", I'm going to question. Leaving the 47, McAllister without the fullback, caught in the backfield by Rondé Barber and Greg Spires.
Well, we talked about Greg Spires and what could he do at that 3-tackle position, the under tackle. Watch him here. He doesn't need the size. He uses speed and penetration. Look at the penetration Spires get. He totally disrupts this play, and that enables Rondé Barber to run it down from behind. Watch how far Spires penetrates. Look at that. He is 4 yards across the line of scrimmage, and he made that play. He is playing fantastic. They may want to keep him there, Kurt.
Mitch Berger punts that one into the end zone. Another touchback. What are you doing New Year's Day, Tim?
Watching the Cotton Bowl.
Of course. Everyone will. College football's most storied bowl games, well, it's one of them. The 69th SBC Cotton Bowl Classic, only on Fox. The Tennessee Volunteers will take on the Texas A&M Aggies in the first postseason meeting between these two storied programs in 48 years. The 69th SBC Cotton Bowl Classic, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific, only on Fox.
Here's a Tennessee guy. Imagine that, though. You asked me what I was doing, and I said Cotton Bowl, and then you did a promo for it.
That's because it's a tradition. It's a New Year's Day tradition. That's what you do on New Year's Day. You get out of bed. Well, actually, you may lay in bed still, but you watch the Cotton Bowl as the first of your bowl games. Michael Pittman dancing behind the line, falls forward for a short 2-yard gain.
Tell you who else played in the Cotton Bowl, Michael Clayton, a couple of years ago. I remember seeing him as a college player, and well, you knew then the guy just has such spectacular tools, and he's such a solid guy.
Well, there's just something about him. I mean, go ahead. You take the story.
Gruden said, call him Mr. Rookie. You know, don't call him Rookie. Is that what you would think?
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Rookie.
He's not your ordinary rookie. Greasy. Going up for Pittman out of the backfield along the sideline. Did he make the catch? Out of bounds.
Heck of an effort by Pittman.
Sure was.
Really, you know.
All right, takes us to the 2-minute warning, though. Each team scored early, but since then, not much going on, at least on the offensive side of the football. We're still tied at 7.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you.
First time they touched the ball as the Saints took it in on the opening kickoff of the game. Aaron Stecker, 98 yards. It took the Buccaneers just a little bit longer, but they took it the length of the field on their first possession and scored.
And this is 3 wide receiver time for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
They need the 30 for the first down. Here's Greasy. Throws it underneath. Ken Dilger won't get there. Mike McKenzie hit him low. Jay Bellamy wrapped him up high.
Man, that was a good tackle by Bellamy, wasn't it? Holy smokes.
Saints call the timeout to stop the clock with 1:53 left. Seconds on the game clock away from the Visa halftime report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy with all the scores and highlights from around the league, plus the old Fox Sports ticker with up to the second stats. Not a good punt by Josh Bidwell. Will roll right at the 39-yard line. 1:40 left. Each team with 2 timeouts, and Bidwell has only a 34-yard punt there.
The one he needed a squib, he boomed. The one he needed a boom, he squibbed. Take a look at this tackle again. This is puts a smile on your face. Watch this here. Unless you're Mrs. Dilger.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. That's something you dream about as a defensive player. You know, here's a big guy. He's up in the air, and you just put your shoulder into him and just drive him.
So the Saints get the ball back. Ball now at the 39-yard line, and they haven't been able to pass the ball in the first half because of the pressure they've gotten from the Buccaneers. Only 4 pass attempts so far in the first half, and they've given up 4 sacks.
I'm sorry. They just kept, everybody over there was smiling about that hit still.
Brooks working from the shotgun. Flag down as Boo Williams is tackled by Mario Edwards.
Got 3 flags down all over the field here. You remember, it was penalties. A lot of people felt, and I too, that really undid Tampa Bay last week out in San Diego. They played toe-to-toe with a good San Diego team. Now, this may not be against Tampa Bay. It may be against the Saints.
They had 12 penalties for 111 yards in that game, a game they lost by 7 points. One of those penalties took points off the board. Remember, they had the field goal.
Yes.
And had a penalty on Dilger, tried it again and missed the field goal the second time around.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal motion. 2 men moving at the same time against the offense. After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 90 of the defense.
That's going to overrule.
By rule, that penalty will be accepted. 15 yards, automatic first down.
That was on Dwayne White, and that's what the officials like to call the 15-5. The personal foul supersedes the other penalty. So they'll pick up 15 yards on a personal foul, and they still have those 2 timeouts, and now they are in Tampa Bay territory.
And we've been talking about Greg Spires and how he slid down to the inside. Dwayne White, the guy 90 who had that penalty, is starting at the spot where Greg Spires used to start.
On the left defensive end spot.
Yep.
So the ball's at the Tampa 46. Deuce McAllister. And McAllister picks up 7 yards on the run.
Well, this is the kind of run where they just go straight at that Tampa Bay defense right in the center. They're attacking the open spot there between the 3 technique and the nose guard, and you see that does open up. And I think that's a good play against this Tampa Bay defense.
That's where they've had trouble stopping the run this year and last year. Off the play fake. Brooks missed Joe Horn, who had a step. It's been a quiet first half for Joe Horn. Came in as the leading receiver in the National Football League in terms of both catches and yards, but so far just 1 catch for 12 yards.
I think Joe Horn felt that he could have made this catch and that he got a little too cute with his feet there and should have moved to the outside. You see how he had an overabundance of footwork there, and he was pointing to himself after that play as if he didn't do the right thing, and not that it was a bad pass by Aaron Brooks.
They can pick up a first down at the 36. From the shotgun, Brooks. Steps up, wasn't pretty, and it's not connected either. Jerome Pathon, the intended receiver. The ball came out with a weird trajectory, and Pathon couldn't grab it.
I think that play was more a function of Rondé Barber just doing what he does so well, finishing the play and punching that ball out of there, than it was Pathon not being able to hang on to it. You're going to watch it right down there at the bottom, and you see how Rondé Barber gets his right hand up in between Pathon's arms and just punches it free.
And so Tampa Bay will call the timeout before the punt with 48 seconds left in the first half.
Sweet ride.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Let's do it. I'm good.
Tired of waiting for your reward? With Thank You from Citi, you get great rewards that are easy to earn, easy to redeem. That's a card you can count on.
48 seconds to go here in the first half. Buccaneers back to receive. They've got one timeout left. And looking for a big return here by Joey Galloway. If they can get something going to try and get some points on the board, which neither team has been able to do since the opening possessions of this football game. Here's Mitch Berger, who was the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week for his punting performance last week against Dallas. And there's movement early, and they draw a flag. Now keep in mind, the Saints needed less than 5 yards for the first down. If this is against Tampa.
False start on the center of the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. It's still fourth down.
And it's not. It's against the Saints. Kevin Hauser, the long snapper, called, and so it will back up New Orleans for just a little bit longer punt. Here's Berger. He's good at dropping it inside the 20 and does a nice job there as Fred Thomas is standing right there at the 6-yard line.
Well, Kerr, we've talked about it from the beginning. Both these teams still alive, not very much alive, but you can see clearly that Detroit and Chicago, although mathematically are still alive, pretty much wiped out their chances by losing this weekend. And Carolina did both the Bucs and the Saints a favor by losing.
Well, barring a tie today, one of those teams will be 6-8, which means they will be tied with Carolina. And last score we saw, St. Louis was down 17-0. If that holds, there'll be 3 teams tied at 6-8 for that final wild card spot. And the Minnesota Vikings have separated themselves from the pack with a win today. They go to 8-6, so they will have a 2-game lead over that spot. And once again, Green Bay is playing this afternoon as well. Well, each team was able to score early on in this ball game, and after that was more of a defensive struggle, especially the way Tampa Bay's front four played and really dominated the offensive line of the New Orleans Saints. They couldn't pass, they couldn't run. So far in the first half, Brooks only 3 for 6 for 38 yards, and at the same time, the Saints have only run for 48 yards.
Well, for Tampa Bay, we've seen a couple catches by Michael Clayton, 3 for 30 yards. And I would suspect when they come out here in the second half that they'll try to work a little bit more of the quicker passing game against this Saints defense to try to neutralize the pass rush, but take advantage of some, young guys that they have playing at the linebacker position.
The Saints got the opening kickoff return, 98 yards by Aaron Stecker. And after that, they've kind of stalled.
A defensive battle,
as
you will.
Defensive lineman would say, right?
Well, and that's what it has been. And I think I'm a little surprised that Tampa Bay, with Greasy's efficiency and the weapons they have at wide receiver, haven't been able to do more against the Saints defense that really has struggled all season long, except for last week against Dallas. I mean, last week was the first time the Saints defense held an offense to less than 300 yards of total offense.
They moved the ball early on, finishing with 129 total yards in the first half. The defense for the Buccaneers was stellar, giving up just 64 total yards to the Saints and sacking Aaron Brooks 4 times. Right now, Tampa Bay's offense will have a chance to get it going here in the third quarter as they will receive Mitch Berger kicking it off. Ian Smart from the 14. Scoots out to the 31-yard line.
Number 36.
Let's take a look at the first half stats.
And this is the number that really jumps out at you against the, the Saints offense with 16 yards in the passing game, especially when you figure they've got Dante Stallworth and Joe Horn and Boo Williams.
Remember, you can get updated on this game and all games in the National Football League if you want to check out your fantasy stats simply by logging on to foxsports.com on MSN. Greasy starting at the 31, 10 of 16 in the first half. Hands it off. Michael Pittman, who ran for 35 yards, picks up 3 more.
By number 57, Colby Buffalo.
Let's go down to the field and Chip Carter.
Thanks, Kurt. I was just talking to New Orleans head coach Jim Haslett. He said right now he's disappointed with the way his team is pass protecting. Spencer Falau struggling. There's been shading people to that side to try and give him some help. He also said he's not about to give up on the running game, even though they have just 64 yards of total offense. Kurt?
All right, Chip. Brian Greasy throwing his first pass in the second half. Michael Clayton, the rookie, is wide open into Saints territory. Knocked out at the 42 after a pickup of 23.
This is the kind of passing game that you really would expect Tampa Bay to be able to go to often against this defense. And it's just a corner route by Clayton. Essentially wide open in the zone. You heard John Gruden at halftime say they're playing zone, and then if they play zone, then you have to find the windows in it.
Michael Pittman trying to get outside. Pittman forced out. Mike McKenzie on the tackle, but only after Pittman got near that first down marker. It looks like he got to 10 yards and a first.
Tampa Bay showing some balance on offense with Pittman following a nice pass play to Michael Clayton. Well, this Saints defense, I think, played well in the first half, Kurt. It's still a defense that, they have a history this season of just giving up the big play in the passing game, in the running game. And so they're not going to be confident for the rest of this season.
This is Ernest Graham, a first-year man out of the University of Florida, going to be near another Tampa Bay first down.
And part of the reason why they have given up big plays is even some of their best players. Here's Charles Grant right here, and even some of their best players, and he may be their best, have missed tackles. I mean, Graham just ran right through him and really took Charles Grant's helmet along with him.
Just a bit short of the first down. So Michael Pittman comes back in on 2nd and inches.
Here's where you can go to a big pass play.
They give it to Pittman. Follows Allstott, gets the first down. And so this opening drive of the second half beginning to look a lot like the opening drive of the first half when Tampa Bay took the ball at the 40-yard line, marched 60 yards into the end zone for the touchdown.
The difference between that drive and this, Kurt, was that a lot of that drive, three times during that drive, it was kept alive by penalties against the Saints defense. This has been clean penalty-wise, but they've missed some tackles, they've missed some coverages, and Tampa Bay's offense looks very efficient.
Just inside the 20. Pittman again. Through a hole. Michael Pittman picks up another 7 yards. Darren Howard forced to make the tackle.
The thing about Michael Pittman as a running back is that he's not a big cutback guy. He's not a big read vision guy, but going straight ahead, and that's what he does on this. Just hitting a hole. I don't think anybody in the NFL right now hits a hole with more determination, than Michael Pittman. He just throws himself right into the lane.
give it to Pittman again. Well, this time he runs right into Charles Grant.
I mean, and I think that may be as good an indication of how relentless he is when he throws himself into the hole as the one where he picked up a lot of yards, because there's big Charles Grant just sitting there in the hole, in the lane he wants to run, and he still threw himself right into it. Of course, throwing yourself into Charles Grant
is not a winnable situation.
It's a tough way to make a living.
Amen to that, brother.
Boy, oh boy.
Well, you can see the play selection here so far. It was very balanced in the first half, but been run heavy so far. But now they go to the pass, and it's picked off by Mike McKenzie in the back of the end zone.
And it has been the Achilles heel of Brian Griese to throw interceptions at key times.
Want to get away? Now you can. Go to Southwest.com for Southwest Airlines $39 to $149 internet specials to 59 destinations nationwide. Purchased by January 16th.
You are now free to move about the country.
And it tastes good, too.
Good ones. So I got one. Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7 ain't 9.
Good one, boss.
Very good, sir.
More style, more status. The redesigned Camry SE. Now that's moving you forward.
In the boys. Looks like you.
Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
Saints take over at the 20. They struggled in the first half offensively, not able to get much going, and Deuce McAllister finds the same results here. Maybe a yard on that play. New Orleans touched the ball 5 times in the first half. They punted the ball 5 times in the first half, gave up 4 sacks, and only had 3 completions.
Gain of 1. Second down, 9 at the 21.
This offensive line really struggled. Spencer Falau starting the second half at left tackle. He came in to replace the injured Wayne Gandy and hadn't been able to stop Simeon Rice all day. Quick pass by Brooks, tipped, falls incomplete. Dante Stallworth, the intended receiver, but couldn't wrap his hands around it.
Well, that was almost an interception. Well, it was an interception, but let's go back. Let's watch this Griese interception. First of all, no one blocks Charles Grant. No one. Watch him. He just comes right through, and so he puts instant pressure on Griese. Then I want you to take a look. I'm not saying I know for sure, but Michael Clayton has outside coverage. I think he should break it to the inside, but he breaks it to the outside. And I don't know if that was a wrong read by Griese or a wrong read by Clayton.
Here's Brooks on 3rd and long. Aaron Stecker. Stecker chased down from behind by Chidi Ahanatu. Stops him from getting the first down. And look at the smile on Ahanatu's face. The 12-year veteran back in Tampa after bouncing around. He was here for his first stint and then went to Buffalo, off to Miami, to San Francisco. I mean, he's been 4 different teams in the last 4 seasons, but back with the Bucs now.
Well, one thing you do with Rod Marinelli, the Bucs defensive line coach, you run to the football until the guy is down, even if it's a pass play downfield.
Shaky punt by Berger, caught on the run by Galloway. Down the sideline, Joey Galloway leapfrogging back in the middle, and he'll take this one all the way back for the Buccaneer touchdown. Yards on the punt return by Galloway for the score.
Sometimes when you return a kick like that, Kurt, you use you're blocking and you use speed. Galloway used his blocking, he used his speed, and he also used tremendous vision and some great moves. He used everything you can use as a kick returner on that play to score. Every element available he used.
Jay Taylor gets the extra point, and Joey Galloway is responsible for both Buccaneer touchdowns today. A short pass reception, and now his first career punt return for a score.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
No, Mr. Hugenhocker, I insist. Take that back for you there, Mr. Hugenhocker.
Joey Galloway giving the Buccaneers the lead in one big play.
Yeah, there's a pretty good lane here, but watch how he uses it. Watch how he uses his blockers. Well, there's a block there. There's a block there. He jumps over a guy, and then it's this move here at the end to run away from the pursuit. It was just really impressive
Short
piece
kick
of running.
Taken by Fred McAfee, and he is hit big time by Marquise Cooper. Now this Buck team juiced up right now. Galloway getting them going.
What will you do now that the...
Yeah, as long as Marquise Cooper's not hitting me like that, I'll tell you what, man. I actually made the mistake of picking up a kick on a kickoff return one time my rookie year. I thought I was going to be killed.
You've been in the booth ever since?
I lasted a little longer, but...
Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be kick returners.
I'll tell you what, that's some dangerous work.
Well, we've seen some big plays from the special teams. Opening kickoff, Saints take it 98 yards. They score. And now a punt return, 59 yards from Joey Galloway. His first punt return for a touchdown as a Buccaneer. He had 4 when he's with Seattle. But Galloway has scored both touchdowns, and this Tampa Bay defense has dominated this Saints offensive line so far. New Orleans with 72 yards of total offense in this ball game in 6 possessions. Here's Brooks. Out to Aaron Stecker out of the backfield, and Stecker will pick up the first down on a gain of 13.
Well, Aaron Brooks got the dump-off pass, but before the play started, Simeon Rice was getting into it a little bit. A little air guitar to Aerosmith. Kind of had a groove going there. And I'll tell you the other thing he did. He drove Folau right into Aaron Brooks' face. That's why he had to dump it off, but the dump-off pass worked pretty well.
Deuce McAllister not going far. Chartrick Darby hit him in the backfield, and then Shelton Quarles wrapped him up.
When you talk about Tampa Bay's pass defense, and they're the #1 pass defense in the league, you have to realize that it's a combination of 2 things. There's Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator. What a great character he is. It's a combination of excellent coverage by the cornerbacks, Brian Kelly and Rondé Barber, and then it's pass rush. It's pressure on the passer, and most of that comes from Simeon Rice. And Greg Spires has helped today on that too.
Stecker with a big run. Pardon me, McAllister. Deuce McAllister with a nice run of 17 yards on the play. Biggest run of the afternoon for the Saints.
Again, a run straight at this defense. And if you can beat the Greg Spires and the Chartrick Darbys at the line of scrimmage, and this time they run away from those guys, if you can beat them at the line of scrimmage, and there's the hole, then you could turn Deuce loose into the 2nd and 3rd levels of your defense.
Ball now at the 34. Brooks being pressured, goes down. 5th sack of the day for this Buccaneer defense, and it's the cornerback Rondé Barber doing it this time.
How many big plays has Rondé Barber made in his career? That's his trademark. Here he is on the outside here, and really he comes unblocked. No, I take that back. He put an excellent pass rush move on Mike Carney, the fullback.
And he's about as physical a cornerback as there is in the league.
Barber got there so fast, I thought no one blocked him, but he put a great swim move on Mike Carney.
Brooks pressured again. Rice with another sack. Simeon Rice has 3.5 sacks in this ball game, and the Buccaneer defense has 6 now.
Well, I've got to tell you that this is poor. This is a poor job by the Saints, because they're still putting Folau, who's the backup, man-to-man on Simeon Rice. Rice is going to win that battle all day long, Kurt. And Aaron Brooks is taking a beating today. Blitz 3. They only had to blitz him 3 times. They've hit him 6, sacked him 6, hurried him 7 times. And they've got to do more with Simeon Rice.
They throw it underneath to Deuce McAllister. He's going to be about 10 yards shy of that first down. Ian Gold making the stop. Well, this becomes that questionable area for the Saints. Same story. Right at the 36-yard line. Obviously, this is a 53-yard field goal attempt, maybe 54. And you got a kicker who's been in the league 15 years, probably doesn't have that in his leg. But do you want to punt it here?
No, I think you do just what Jim Haslett's doing. Heck, you're 5-8. You know, and again, you do have some weapons. If they can keep Simeon Rice out of the backfield. Well, Simeon Rice called a timeout. Now some of his teammates are saying, no, don't call the timeout.
Well, they were trying to tell him because the play clock was down to 5 and New Orleans was still in the huddle. So I think that even though Tampa wanted a timeout, they knew that New Orleans would have to call one, but the Bucs take it anyway.
Hi, Bud Light. It's Susan. Hi.
It is, hey, you can relax.
That's
work relaxing. Out. Yeah, well, he was relaxing before, but I guess he got tired of that. Now he's lounging once again. During that timeout, the Saints talked themselves out of going for it on 4th down. Mitch Berger instead will come on to punt to Joey Galloway, who took the last one back, 59 yards for a touchdown.
False start, 57 in the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 4th down.
That's on Colby Bockwald, but I don't think that New Orleans will really mind backing up and giving Berger just a little bit more room to try and pin them down this time. A little more margin for error now. You can see the numbers put up by Berger, having an excellent season. And he gets another good one off. This one will bounce right about the 10-yard line and be downed right there by Bockwald. 4:52 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Bucs holding on to a touchdown lead. Bucs defense doesn't want to be on the sideline.
No, I mean, when you're inflicting the kind of damage they have been on the New Orleans offense, it's fun to be out there. Big plays, sacks, a lot of pressure on New Orleans.
Here's Michael Pittman. Gets away from Jay Bellamy, finally brought down at about the 16 by the rookie Colby Bockwald.
The way the Bucs defense is controlling this game and really not allowing any points. The only points the Saints got was from the kickoff return right at the beginning of the game. You really can play conservative offensively. Now that they've got the lead and they've got the 1 touchdown lead, they can afford to run the ball and then use the play action to open up the passing game.
Here's Pittman again. Charles Grant wraps him up after a short pickup. And you know what, you talk about this performance right now, and you know, each team has given up a special teams touchdown, and New Orleans defense has done that bend but don't break thing other than the opening possession when the Buccaneers marched it down the field and got the touchdown pass to Joey Galloway. So this has been a defensive struggle. I don't know if you would have expected that coming into the contest. Maybe not surprised the way the Saints played last week, but didn't know if they could keep it up, being the last ranked defense in the National Football League, but they have so far. Leading the 21, Greasy. Under pressure from Charles Grant, forced to throw it out of bounds. And that's a name we've called quite a bit today.
We have. I mean, Charles Grant, and then on the other side, Simeon Rice and Greg Spires have all played extremely well and won that battle on the line of scrimmage. And as we said, it's really been kind of a defensive ball game. And the one time Tampa Bay did have a successful scoring drive with their offense, they did it with the courtesy of 3 defensive penalties against the Saints.
Josh Bidwell flag down already. And that one will be spotted down, but let's see what the penalty marker's about. Get the call from Jeff Triplett here.
During the kick, holding number 43 of the receiving team. That's a 10-yard penalty. First down, timeout.
Mike McKenzie called for the hold. Will back up the Saints just a little bit more.
When it comes to shipping,
we want to send our best wishes to the men and women of the 2nd Battalion of the 503rd Airborne Infantry, Fury from the Sky, in Vicenza, Italy. We appreciate all you do for America. Pre-game flyover. A couple of F-16s buzzing the stadium, and those are the 2 pilots who flew it, and I wonder how they found a parking spot. Probably not easy in those things.
Dill Air Force Base, not too far from here.
First down for the Saints after the punt at the 36. Deuce McAllister. Pick up just a couple. Let's head back out to Los Angeles and check in with James Brown for another game break.
All right, Kurt, as you well know, Terrell Owens sprained his ankle on this play here. X-rays on the ankle were negative. He did, in fact, experience some swelling. There will be an MRI on Monday. He probably will not be playing next Monday against St. Louis. The rest remains to be seen. And, oh, yeah, I'm back from that respite that you referenced earlier, Kurt.
Hey, we all have to go sometime, right? There's Deuce McAllister picking up the first down right across the 50-yard line. And I'll tell you what, Terrell Owens, as he's, JB mentioned, probably will not play in the Monday night game. And you're wondering right now, if you're Andy Reid, your team's locked up home field advantage, do you play him at all the rest of this regular season?
No, not if he's not well. You just rest him. You rest him right through the last couple weeks, through the bye week, because he can change a game around. And tell you, in this game here, Kurt, Deuce McAllister starting to put together some pretty good-sized runs.
Brooks has time. Got an open receiver, and Joe Horn goes up and pulls it down. Just a second catch of the ball game for a Horn, but this is a big one. Taking it all the way down to about the 22-yard line.
Well, part of this is the success McAllister's had. They faked the draw, they faked the handoff to McAllister, and I think that sucked up some of the linebackers and created a space in the zone for Joe Horn to find.
They spotted at the 26. It's a gain of 23 on the play. Here's Deuce McAllister. Falls forward for a yard. Well, Joe Horn, you expected to be a big part of this game. We mentioned before, #1 receiver in the National Football League in both yards and catches. And before the game, this is how he warms up, iPod style, but he plugs it not with a headset like a lot of players do, puts it into his own little speaker so that he can listen to it aloud on the field. And if the music gets you going, I guess it works, right? McAllister diving forward.
Hey, Deuce is getting going right now. Remember, Kurt, back in the first half, there was a time when he was averaging about 3 yards a carry. Now he's up to about 4.5 yards a carry. And he's putting together some sizable runs here in this second half that's giving the Saints all of a sudden an offensive spark. And as we said, Deuce starts running well, then the play action pass works, and Joe Horn finds spaces downfield. And you can't forget about Dante Stallworth either.
From the shotgun, needing the 16. Brooks right over the middle for Pathon. He caught it and then dropped it. Loose ball, and the Buccaneers fall on it. Mario Edwards was the guy who had the recovery, and Pathon with the huge fumble inside the 5 with no one around him.
Now, this is one that the Saints may want to challenge as to whether or not Pathon had a catch, because he has to have a catch to then have a fumble. And as he comes down, I don't think they're going to rule that he had possession of that football. he must maintain possession of it when he hits the ground. And here he goes down. And I don't.
Ruling on the field is a completion. And then the player hit the ground untouched and then lost the ball. So it is a fumble. Recovered by Tampa Bay. First 10.
So they say he had the ball, that it was a completion. Pathon with a big fumble. Had been starting the past couple of weeks, but replaced by Dante Stallworth today. And the thing is, no one touched him. No one was around him. He just simply lost the football. And so now the Saints will throw out the flag to challenge it.
New Orleans is challenging with the ruling on the field that it was a completed catch.
Jeff Triplett will go check things out. We'll take a timeout while he does. Hoping to get one here with the ball on the 4-yard line, having come out of the hands of Jerome Pathon. Now the ruling on the field was a catch and a fumble. The Buccaneers recovered. And right now Haslett hoping that the replay will overturn it, but having seen it, I don't know how it will, is my prediction. Of course, Haslett's 0 for 2. I'm a lot worse percentage than that, maybe. Is there a worse percentage than 0%?
The issue is whether or not Jerome Pathon has possession of this ball before it comes loose. And on that view there,
looked like he clearly had 2 feet down.
It looked like he had it, yeah. and then his backside was down.
So it looks like he clearly has 2 feet down and then loses possession as he goes to the ground. And if you catch it and fall and have the ball pop out.
After reviewing the play, the receiver had caught the ball in the air, hit 2 feet on the ground, then hit the ground and caused the fumble. It is a completed catch and a fumble. The ruling on the field stands. New Orleans is charged a timeout.
And once again, I think that was the right call. If you have it in your possession and get both feet down, it doesn't matter how the ball comes out once you have attained possession. I mean, really, the best way to think of that is if he's running down the side of the field, trips and falls, and the ball comes out.
Right.
It's the same thing.
The difference is if someone hit him, if it was a hit, then you have to have both feet down and make a move common to the game. But that has to be the result of a defensive player hitting.
Michael Pittman picks up 6 yards on that run. Now the Saints miss out an opportunity to tie up this ball game, and they'll head into the 4th quarter still down by a touchdown. The story as we go into the final 15 minutes of regulation. Joey Galloway, a 3-yard touchdown reception and a 59-yard touchdown on a punt return, has done all the scoring for the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneer defense has taken over 6 sacks and a fumble recovery and not given up much to the Saints offense. Here's Michael Pittman, bottled up by Darren Howard and Willie Whitehead. Right on the 10-yard line, no gain. Well, Tampa Bay leads at 14-7, and this is important for both these teams. If you take a look at how they've gotten to the 5 and 8 points so far this season, when leading or tied after 3 quarters, the Bucs are successful. On the flip side, the Saints, well, when they're trailing, they're in trouble. 0 and 8 going into the 4th quarter down. But at least this is a manageable 7-point difference. Here's Greasy under pressure, throws it out to the tight end Dave Moore, and Moore makes the grab right out near that first down marker. Just the second catch of the season for Moore.
That was a good job by Greasy to get rid of that football at all, let alone deliver it that far out to Moore, because he had some pressure on him right away from Charles Grant.
Moore really the long snapper for this team, but because of injuries at tight end, they lost Will Heller for the season last week, getting some time at the tight end spot. Right through the hole is Michael Pittman into the open field. Pittman making a couple of moves to get by Jay Bellamy down the sideline. Finally forced out of bounds by Mike McKenzie, but a heck of a run after a couple of nice moves by Pittman.
Well, this couldn't have been a better called play, because what happens is the Saints bring to Bucky Jones up here to create the overload to help with the run, the 8th man, and so there's a lane, a natural lane to this backside, and then only Jay Bellamy, and boy, Michael Pittman put a great shake on Bellamy. Watch it. Look at that.
58 yards on the run to the 27. Apparently, Buccaneers choosing to keep on handing it off to Pittman, and right now he goes out of the game, and they bring in Ernest Graham to take his place.
Second time we've seen this Tampa Bay offense really hurt the Saints defense in this half. Of course, the last time they got down close was when Brian Greasy threw the interception in the end zone. Again, throwing it under pressure from Charles Grant.
Graham still in there at running back. He gets the handoff. Out across the 20-yard line. Colby Bockwalt with the tackle.
I think Bockwalt, we talked earlier about the Saints being inexperienced at the linebacker position, and Bockwalt is a rookie with a lot of speed, a lot of toughness. Boy, Jim Haslett really, really likes this guy. But he's still a rookie, so he's got a lot to learn, and a lot to learn with a defense around him that's not the strongest defense in the league.
Well, he's a 7th-round pick out of BYU, so a rookie they weren't expecting to be counting on this year, but right now he's a starter. And Greasy forced to use the timeout. Second by the Bucs here in the half with 12 minutes left to go in regulation.
Can inspiration replace the typical small car with something that lives a little larger? More space. More function. More sizzle. America's best small car alternative just got a little better. The Chrysler PT Cruiser. Now starting at just $13,995. Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard.
Cold hard fact. The higher the elevation, the lower the temperature. That's why every single Coors Light is born right here in the Rockies. And when beer starts out this cold, it ends up this refreshing. Coors Light. Our goal, the coldest tasting beer in the world.
So you tell me there's some snake orgy out in the jungle?
Coming to DVD.
Get out!
Anacondas.
I'm not going in that jungle. Hang on!
With gigantic bonus features. Anacondas. Own it December 21st.
Honey, wake up. It's Christmas. Time for presents. Come on, sleepyheads. Let's go. Presents! Yeah!
This holiday, show her how excited you are about her with a beautiful gift of gold from Kay Jewelers. Because gold is the one language everyone understands. And you can be assured that she'll get the message.
Wow! Wow. Every kiss begins...
Standard by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game. By Best Buy, thousands of possibilities, get yours. And by Taco Bell, think outside the bun.
It always cracks me up to see Santa in the South. I don't know why. I grew up in Atlanta, I grew up in the South, but when there's no snow around, it just seems weird to me. I don't know why.
It's kind of a wintry thing. It's because of that cap, that big fur cap, fur line.
And shorts.
We don't need that thing down here.
Greasy trying to get out of trouble. Ken, as he's forced out by Darren Howard. That'll bring up a third down.
Well, as I said, Kurt, this Tampa Bay offense has done this before in this half, and they've driven on this Saints defense, got down into the red zone, and then threw that interception.
Well, that was third down, pardon me. So Jay Taylor will come on to attempt a field goal. 3 for 4 on the season. We talked about the miss he had last week in San Diego after having points taken off the board. Missed one from 30 yards out. This will be a 37-yard attempt. And Taylor gets it through. So a guy who's bounced around in the Arena League, the XFL, NFL Europe, been cut by 3 NFL teams, comes back and extends the lead to 10 points.
Did you see this Visa net
500 mark, so they can even get to discussing the playoffs. But right now, the way things shake out in the NFC, I think a lot of teams have a lot of hope. This is a short kick, scooped up by Willie Whitehead. Is that like your return as a defensive lineman?
That looked a little better than mine. He got hit pretty hard, though. He's got to pull the dirt out of his hat.
I'm looking at the Buccaneers defensive line right now, and Simeon Rice is having a party of his own, which probably happens a lot in his life, I get a feeling, you know?
Yeah, I think that, life is a party for Simeon, you know, and the rest of us are guests.
Exactly. Well, the way the Buccaneers defensive line has played in this game with 6 sacks, they've got reason to party.
Simeon Rice season total up to 12.5 now.
Deuce McAllister can't get any way as Chartrick Darby wrapped him up after Brian Kelly hit him, and this has really been par for the course the way this front 4 has played for Tampa Bay today in both the pass and a run game.
Pressure all day. Greg Spires with that sack and forced fumble. Spires again with Rondé Barber helping out, and of course the Simeon Rice sack fest, really taking advantage of the injury to Wayne Gandy at the left tackle position. Folau having a long evening here against Simeon Rice.
Second down for the Saints. Aaron Stecker out of the backfield, gets away from Ian Gold. And Stecker right at midfield, going to be about a half-yard short, looks like, of the first down.
Well, what they're trying to do with Simeon now is use Deuce and Folau. Folau's going to get a little help from Deuce, and then the pass goes right over Simeon's head. I mean, from Stecker. So Stecker tries to get a little shot on Simeon to double up right there, bang, slow him down, and then boop, drop it right over Rice's head. Maybe not a bad play for the Saints to use. But I still am a little surprised that they haven't tried to slide the line or use like a Mike Carney.
Well, right now they put a Boo Williams over there for a little help. Quarterback sneak. Aaron Brooks looks like he got it.
I'd run it right behind LaCharles Bentley too.
Let's check in again with JB for another game break.
Hey, Kurt, take a look here. Jamie Martin, what do you say? Gosh, St. Louis trying to come back from 24-7. Torrey Holt right. Oh, no. Ifeanyi Ohalete knocks it loose. And it's Ohalete who also recovered it. Oh, you guys look at him like that. That's exactly what took place. Ifeanyi Ohalete. Kurt Menefee knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, back to Kurt.
Good job, JB. Good job. Wow.
And that can help out the Buccaneers, too, if St. Louis winds up losing as Aaron Brooks on the scramble on first down. I could keep whichever team wins this game alive, in all honesty, is St. Louis and Seattle both really in control. One of them will win the division, the other have a shot at the wild card, but already Seattle has gotten thumped by the Jets, and St. Louis losing badly in Arizona. Neither of those teams taking control of that West, and if you don't watch out, the one that doesn't win the West might miss the playoffs entirely. Brooks steps up, going for home, got it.
What a throw by Aaron Brooks. Remember at the beginning of the game, I was talking about how Terry Bradshaw was saying how much he liked Aaron Brooks, and I said, you know, he's got the interceptions this season, but man, he's got all the tools you need. We've seen him scrambling, and on this play here, you just see the great arm strength. Look at that pass right there, just over the heads of the Bucs defenders, and another acrobatic catch by Joe Horn. Good combination, those two guys, Aaron Brooks to Joe Horn.
First down at the 21. Deuce McAllister bottled up. Derek Brooks stopped him. But speaking of Brooks, how about Aaron Brooks kind of following in your footsteps, Timmy?
Well, you know, he's got a lot more dimensions than people know. And he wrote this kid's book, Aaron Brooks, Rise Above. And it's really an inspirational story. And it's the kind of story I think that, you know, if you've got a kid or something and it's around Christmas time and maybe they don't like to read a lot, this is something that you could probably get to them and they'd like. And little inspiration there on how to overcome things. We were reading a little bit of it last night, and it was impressive, the things that he has kind of documented in a formula to succeed and to rise over obstacles that you know, appear in everyone's life.
One of the more interesting things he mentioned overcoming was not knowing what his middle name was. Who's that?
Look at that. That's my son Troy already. See?
So we had him on the beach, and now we got him in the booth?
Early Christmas present, Aaron Brooks, Rise Above.
Aaron Brooks said that he thought for part of his life that his middle name was Lynette. That his name was Aaron Lynette Brooks. It's actually Lafette. I guess at some point it's nice to know what your name is. It helps.
Tell you, he's having a nice drive right here. Saints need 2 scores to get back in this thing.
Under pressure, sack again. 7th sack of the day for the Buccaneers, and this time it's Chidi Ahanotu.
Well, that pocket was absolutely destroyed by this Tampa Bay defensive front. Looked more like an anthill than a pocket. Just watch these red jerseys work. You've got White on underneath. You've got Rice over the top and Ahanotu in the middle. Not good blocking up front by the Saints offensive line.
John Carney will try a 38-yard field goal attempt. It's up. And he missed it. Jim Haslett's going, what else can happen now? You can see the earplugs in his ear, but I don't know if anything can drown out the booze he's probably giving himself after missing that field goal.
The lonely life of the kicker. It's great and it's easy until you miss a kick that could cost you the game.
Here's Michael Pittman. And obviously that was a big miss because down by 10 with 6 minutes left at that time. They could have gotten the field goal there because they needed a field goal and a touchdown to tie, and then only if they can get a defensive stop, need a touchdown. But right now, they still need 2 possessions and 2 scores.
Yeah, desperation mode. But heck, I mean, remember the Dallas Cowboys game a couple weeks ago against Seattle on Monday night. They were down 2 scores with less time than this left.
Last night, Carolina was down by 14 points to Atlanta midway through the 4th quarter and came back to send it to overtime. Actually came back and took a touchdown lead and forced Atlanta to score to get back to send it to overtime.
And a lot of people thought Carolina was on a roll towards the playoffs. Now they're 6-8. Now they're still alive, but as we said earlier, everything that could happen for either the Bucs or the Saints, whoever wins this game, is happening with Carolina losing, and then the Rams looks like they're having a tough time right now with Arizona. They're in bad shape.
So it could be a 3-way tie between St. Louis, the winner of this game, and Carolina at 6-8 for that final wild card spot with 2 weeks left to play. Michael Pittman chased down in the backfield. Courtney Watson, the 2nd-round pick out of Notre Dame, with a nice tackle.
Yeah, that was really nice acceleration by Courtney Watson. You know, a lot of times as a rookie, you tend to skate, you tend to shuffle out to the outside. And you just want to make sure you get your job done. On that one there, Courtney Watson he went for it. You know, he just shot right up through and made a big play.
There's Michael Lewis, the dangerous punt returner. Back to take this one from Josh Bidwell. It's a short one. Lewis gets through the initial blocks. And there's
boy.
Michael Lewis.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Jamil Cook giving chase, diving,